What's going on, people? Good morning. Actually, nah, it's not even the morning. Good afternoon. It's 4 minutes into you lot's afternoon. Weather check, because my weather check is all right. Welcome to United View. It's like 24, 25 degrees. I'm happy. I'm happy. International break is still going on. I'm not so happy about that. Got to cover the England game later on. But big up to everyone inside the place. You lot know what to do. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how your weather is. I think we've got to bring back that. What I'm going to do, I think I'm quite biased with it. Whenever the weather is good here, then I'm going to ask everyone. If it's dead here in England, then that's just how it's going to be. I'm just not going to ask it. It's not that great, but there you go. KG changed the password. Hashtag blame KG. A lot of hashtag blame KG in the chat. Big up Flex. Can I call it? And Tanzania, 26 degrees we got as well. Oh, listen, that's hot. That's hot. A little sunny, a little cloudy here in Norway. Watching from South Africa says Shopping Solutions. Wasn't even KG this time, says Joe. It wasn't, but whenever it's not KG, it still is KG. If you know, you know. Joseph watching from Philly out there in the US as well. And hi, everyone. And Flex, East Devon. East Devon. Is it hot down there in Devon? Is it hot? I don't know. Let me know. Dubai, 40 degrees. Always hot there. You got Cairo as well. Big up. Hot 35 degrees there. Big up from Saudi Arabia. So the register's done. The register's done. Hold tight, everyone watching. We got a lot to talk about in today's show, and I wanted to go down this route, the Martial route, because what's going on is Martial Martial ready for the challenge is what I've gone with today's show, because I wanted to talk about this and get you lots idea about it. I think I like when the transfer window shuts, because what it does do is we can kind of talk about our team with what we have. You know, in the transfer window, it's all about incomings, outgoings. As soon as you hear a few rumors, it's this, it's that. And the reason why I like when it shuts is, yes, you know who you've got to work with, but also we remember what we already have. And there's so much talking points around our squad on a daily basis. So we're going to talk about that. And I want to talk about Solskjaer's selection headache as well, which kind of ties into Martial ready to fight. Martial scored upon his return to the French team last night. Scruffy goal, and should have scored another goal, might I add, in the first half when Paul Pogba slotted him through. He definitely should have scored that one. But scored a scrappy goal to get a vital point against the Ukraine for France, which just got me kind of thinking. And we've all been saying it, really. Obviously, we're still off the back of the buzz of Ronaldo. We're still off the back of the buzz of Sancho. We're still off the back of the buzz of Varane and the transfer window we've had. And it's almost like, yeah, look, Keisha says, Flex, did you see how Martial kissed the ball yesterday? It meant a lot to him. Yeah, he picked the ball up, he grabbed it. And it's like, is he the forgotten man? Is he the forgotten man? And he's dividing opinion. But I wanted to go on a positive in terms of, I think he's ready for this fight, because he's going to have to fight. Like, let's not get this twisted. Anthony Martial is going to have to fight for his place. Now, a lot of you lot will see it as that's not a big deal. You should have to fight for your place in this squad with Man United. And I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. You know, there's been times where Martial's the out-and-out number 9 with no competition. There's been other times where a lot of his time spent at Manchester United has been in direct competition with other players for his position. So this is not something new. And this level of competition, and I don't even mean Ronaldo yet. I mean Cavani was a next level. He was, you know, he's a better number 9 than him. Cavani is, and this competition in Ronaldo is a step up from that as well, just like it was when Zlatan gets here. So Martial's kind of back to square one again, where not that he has to prove himself, but he has to convince Oli that he should get time on the pitch over the likes of Jadon Sancho, over the likes of Mason Greenwood, over the likes of Marcus Rashford when he comes back, which is another thing I'm going to talk about later on in the show. Martial, for me, has blown so hot and cold since he's been here. It's like, we, as Man United fans, all know that there's talent in there, but we get so frustrated because we obviously want to see it on a more consistent basis. You can say you want to see it on a more consistent basis with Paul Pogba as well. But I think with Martial, because he's supposed to be there, he's supposed to be the 20-goal man a season, and he has got that in a couple of seasons. You know, the season before last was a really good season for him, his best in a very, very long time. And then last season went down the pan with injuries and bad form, and he just did not recover from that. Now there's people ahead of him. There's Jadon Sancho ahead of him. There's Ronaldo ahead of him. There's Cavani ahead of him. There's now Greenwood ahead of him. So Martial's probably like 4th choice attacker. And then when Rashford gets back, that he's going to be ahead of him too. So Martial needs to be in a situation to fight. Shout out the mods. Shout out Mimi sorting out everything. Big up the mods. David Lee in the cut as well. The mods always doing what the mods do best, keeping everything in check in the chat. January sales for Martial, says Stephen Williams. Wow, Stephen Williams wasting no time, basically saying, yo, you know what? I'd sell him. I'd sell him. A lot of people when we got the acquisition of Jadon Sancho were saying sell Martial. And I've always said, how many times have I said, guys, you guys been following me for a while, right? I've always said I want us to have mad options off the bench. I want us to have depth in every position. I want us to look like City. When Phil Foden and Raheem Sterling don't start, you had your Mahrez's. At the time, you had a Sane. You know, when Mahrez don't start, Sterling will start. Or when, you know, when Phil Foden don't start, or now they've got Jack Grealish, now Sterling might have to sit on the bench. I saw Sterling and Mahrez come off the bench the other week, proper hungry to do well. I want that within our squad in every position. I know we're not there yet, but that's the type of quality I want. So I'm not really in this, we can't afford to have a player like Martial on the bench. Listen, you be on the bench if you're not playing well. It's as simple as that. Like, they're the options we had. We didn't say about Teddy Sheringham. We never said that when I done that night with Andy Cole. He said when Dwight Yorke came through the club, you know, yes, it was competition, but he wanted Yorkie to do well. But he said it took him like 8 games to even get a game when Dwight Yorke arrived at the club. Can you even imagine that? Andy Cole. And big Andy Cole, yeah, had to hold bench for like 8 games in a row. No explanation from the gaffer. He told me, it's there on video if you want to check it out, and even with Andy Cole. And he said, that's what Manchester United was. Then when Teddy Sheringham come, yeah, they might not be best friends off the pitch, but when Teddy Sheringham come, Andy Cole said, I want Man United to do well. And it's up to me to be able to prove that I'm hungry enough to win that place back, or when I'm called upon, I need to do it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, he was like a substitute striker throughout his whole career at Manchester United. Yes, he did start games, but it was part of having that potent attack. 4 options, straight up 4 options, you know? So I see Martial as no different to that in terms of us wanting to we want to get back to the top. And I want us to have them options. I don't really care about the whole, oh man, that's tight. Like, you can't really put Martial on the bench that long. If he gets angry and pissed off and says, I'm not up for the fight, I'm too good to be on the bench, okay, then you're going to do it like what Lukaku done and say, I'm not playing second fiddle to anyone, and leave. However, Lukaku's a different caliber of striker to him. He can say that. I think with what Martial has proved and disproved is that he's fantastic at holding up the ball. He's got a, when he's on it, he's on it, and when he's not on it, he's really not on it, you know? And he's proved he can score goals and he has got ability, but he just doesn't have that level of I don't know, consistency that we're all looking for. If you ask rival fans a couple of years ago, would you take Anthony Martial? A lot of them say yeah. Now you speak to a lot of them say, I don't know, man. Does he really do it though? Does he really do it? So it's out there. It really is out there. And it's up to Martial to show that, you know, he can still be in Ollie's plans. What I will say, my point of view of Martial, I don't want to sell him. I want us to be as potent as possible. I want Martial chomping at the bit to get involved. I want Martial to maybe go on a run of form and score some goals and chip him. That's what I want. That's what I want. And if he wants to stay and fight for that, which I'm not saying he doesn't, I think he does. This is why I'm saying Martial ready to fight. Then the better it is for the squad. Sancho as well is another one. You lot are talking about Sancho in the chat. LOL, rivals wanted Sancho, now all of a sudden he's a flop. Yeah, look, Sancho's the same thing. We have to, well, not the same thing as Martial, but we have to wait for him to develop. It's going to take time to adapt to the league. It's going to take time to play in a new system and a new style of play, which a lot of you guys would say, what is our style of play? But we'll see. Debunk says, we're ignoring the fact that Martial had a knee surgery and expecting to hit the ground running this season. Seems like the world champions are the only ones giving him respect he deserves. And it's weird because Didier Deschamps wasn't picking Martial. And that's a good point, Debunk, in terms of the world champions, i.e. France, you know, picking him again. It's actually quite a surprise he was even in that squad if you really, really deep it. If you really, really deep it, because he hasn't been playing well for Manchester United or playing frequently. He's been out a long time and he hasn't even always been on Deschamps' radar. He's gone to Giroud over him. He's brought Benzema back. Like, Martial's not always there. Angie S says, thanks for the super chat. Says, Martial for me is under radar. Can't thrive in the limelight kind of player. Not a game changer, but can be a good squad player to have. Under quality forwards ahead of him, he can do well. Never a main man. That's interesting. Do you know what? What do you guys think about what Angie S says? Is Martial, is he the supporting act? Is he better in a squad that's star-studded and he just, he starts a game here or there, or he comes off the bench last 25, things like that, impact player. I don't really know. I think we've seen him be kind of both. I remember in that season where just before we bought Alexis Sanchez, remember when Martial and Rashford were interchanging on the left? At the beginning of the season, we were saying to Jose Mourinho, I remember a lot of fans were saying, why doesn't he just pick one? Like, he should go with Rashford or he should go with Martial. But really, the performances of the team and the two players were complementing each other very well. When one started, the other one would come off and the other one would come on and score or do something well or assist, and vice versa. If one was on the bench for one game and they started the next game, they would put in a good performance. And we found a decent system in the season that Zlatan came here. And then in January, Alexis came and completely ruined it. I think Martial was shifted out to the right at the time, and he just never recovered from that season. Ibrahim Fafana says Martial just needs confidence and love. He had a torrid season last year and his confidence was dented. It's all down to management. United need to play Bruno and Pogba at 8 with Donny, Fred, or McTominay at 6. So basically play the 2 8s and the 1 holding and get him in the team. Mbappe overrated. Yes, he's Starlord says yes, he's just a squad player now, but he don't want that. But he has no choice until he picks up form. 100% agree with that. And RDX 200 says Martial is underrated by some and overrated by some. That is spot on. I think when you analyze Tony Martial, I think you do get those extremes. You very rarely get that balance in the middle. You either get people saying like, listen, this guy, he's basically R9. Like, he's the man. He just does it all the time. He's this, he's that. And then you get people like, nah, he's absolute trash. I'm not bothered. I'm not interested. Like, sell him. He's had it long enough. He's crap. He's this, he's that. And I think the truth is where it's somewhere in the middle, because there's not been that consistency. What has it been? 6 years since he's been here? 5, 6 years? I think it is 6 years, isn't it? Like, he's been here a long time. You know, he's been here a long time and came with a lot of stature, and he's endeared himself to the fans. The fans do love him. You know, at match days, we're always singing his name. You know, even around the world, you guys, everyone loves Martial. But some people have had enough. Where is the Martial who scored 2 versus Liverpool on his debut? Crookie Dragon says, last season, if Martial scored his chances, we would have gone further in the Champions League. And Neil says, for me, Martial is lazy and he sulks like a child. Martial, and then Den of Don says, Martial is so silky that fans basically sometimes don't understand what can he do, and how much do you think we could get for Martial? Not that I want him to leave, says Brendan. When me and KG were talking about this in the summer, weren't we? Well, in the transfer window, and he was saying, like, I can't remember what it was. I think he said something stupid like he always does. I think he said 60-70 million. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I think he said, didn't KG, you guys watch that show? Remember we done a Flex and KG show? And he said something unreal. And I was like, you crazy. You think you're going to get 60-70 mil? I think he said, I want to say 70 mil, you know. I think KG said 70 mil. Ryan Hamilton says that. And 000 says, that's not stupid. Okay, look, Martial hasn't been in great form. We bought him for 50 million, yeah? Would his price tag has raised to 70? Well, you got the Man United tax. Ben White, 50 million, by the way. Okay, I hear that 000. But 70 million, I just feel like, if we came out of a deal for Tony Martial for 70 million pounds, even euros, I would be very, very surprised. Pepe 72 million as well. Do you know what? 000 makes some decent points. Like, people might laugh and say, nah, 70 million, you're off your rocker, which I was saying, but he's saying about the going rate in the market. So Ben White was 50 million. Pepe was like, what, 72 million? All right, it happened. Sancho was 77 million, and he's been banging for him for the last 3 years. So it depends. Look, Martial's worth whatever anyone wants to pay for him, innit? I don't think his stock has risen by being at Man United. I think he's kind of flatlined. I think Martial would be between 45 and 50 and 60 million. I know that's a bit broad, but that's what I think. The flex, the narrative will have you overlooking the fact Martial is the only forward who actually won the club's golden boot twice. What are the other lads doing? Because no one abuses them as much. And he gets, and that's what I'm saying, Debunk. This is it. He gets across the fan base. Some people are done with him, and that's what I'm saying. I think he's ready to fight. I think he's ready to fight, and he's going to have to be ready to fight in a star-studded front line. This is a great conversation, really. It's really opened up a lot of opinions on this, which is exactly what I wanted to dive into. Ibrahim Bafana says Pogba and Bruno need to play at 8 box-to-box midfielders to allow us to dominate. They can still create and score. They were box-to-box at Juve and Sporting. True, it's the system. Our manager's just dead against it. Let's face it, Ollie is dead against it. He's not on playing that formation. He's not on making one of them just sit and two go. He just isn't on it right now. I just don't get it. But, you know, to finish off on Martial, it is a big opportunity for Martial and a big challenge for Martial, you know. Brandon says, thank you, Flex. You are one of the only YouTubers that give everyone a chance to have their say. That's what it's all about. Big up yourself, Brandon. Flex, what's your best formation and players? Good question. I mean, what would I should probably really do a video on this separately now the off season is now the transfer window shut. What's you lot's best formation? Let me know. Best formation and best players. Get in the chat. I'll tell you mine. I'm saying 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder, so 2 8s. And like someone just said before, they all need to get back and they all need to kind of get forward. You know what I mean? But not so much the holding midfielder. Back 5 picks itself. I don't, well, you know my thoughts on the Dean Henderson De Gea thing. I've said it many, many times, but you guys know how I feel. David De Gea for me is and still should be Manchester United's #1. Back 4, we all know what that is. Do I say it just in case anyone might think it's different? Let me do that. Let me respect people. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, sure. And then I would go. Do you know what? With what we've got so far, I would try Donny. I would try Donny as a holding midfielder and let Pogba and Bruno go ahead. Failing that, I would just play a flat 3. In fact, actually no, because I want Donny and he's quite fluid on the ball and he's not a DM specialist. I would go for just a flat 4-3-3, like how Liverpool play. There's no 10, there's no holding midfielder, there's no this there. You're all midfielders. When we have the ball, you lot get forward and go and do your thing. Yes, don't get me wrong, someone has to have a bit of caution to the wind and keep the shape. And when we don't have the ball, you all get back behind the ball, keep your shape, and go hunt impact to try and win it. But, you know, I don't think that's ever going to happen because of Bruno's playing style. I've said this many times. The way that Bruno plays football is very intense. It's very high press. It's very off the cuff. It's very rugged. It's quite rough the way he plays. Rough around the edges is what I mean. And he's off like a striker. It's almost like we play 4-4-2 when we don't have the ball. How crazy is that? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like we play 4-4-2 when we don't have the ball. Or like Peter Nelson says, it's like a 4-4-1-1, really. It is. So ideally, I would like to bring Bruno back a bit and accommodate that extra midfielder who can kick ball, which for me would be Donny. And to do that, I would go to a 4-3-3. So I'd have Donny, Pogba, and Bruno just to see how it goes. It can't be worse than what we've got. Front 3, obviously Ronaldo in at the #9. I would go when he gets back. I would put Rashford on the left. And it's a toss-up between Greenwood and Sancho on the right. As it stands now, I'd put Sancho on the left and Greenwood on the right with Ronaldo up front, with Martial to work himself back into the team. But when he comes back, we'll see. Because I tell you what, that's another thing, which is the next part of the show, which is Ollie's selection dilemma. I'm going to talk about that in one sec. Ibrahim says, Flex, keep up the good work and happy to see you on your channel. Love to present in at the United stand. Keep it up, although it's a long road from Maryland, USA. #reckless. Big up, man. Big up to everyone for the love and support, and big up yourself, Ibrahim, as well. 4-3-3. Debunk says 4-3-3. Pogba, Bruno, Matic, Pogba, Bruno, and then Martial, Ronaldo, Cavani. Okay, fair enough. Willington says Varane. Let me get you guys' let me get some of you guys' teams out. Willington says Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. Agreed. Didn't say what keeper though. Matic, Pogba, Fernandes. Okay, so you put Matic as the holding midfielder. And then Greenwood, CR7, Cavani. So you're putting Ronaldo, on one of the wings. I'm not really sure he can really do that job there, Willington, in the Prem. Interesting. Not many people have suggested Ronaldo playing one of the wings. Let us know what you think about Willington's view about that. Ibrahim says City played a flat 3 with De Bruyne and Silva, 100%. They both worked off the ball and were creative. Donny can be a 6, and 3 players allows us to dominate. 100%, Ibrahim. Super chat of the day. This is what I mean. Like, if it's all about the system. You can't tell me that when you said they had a midfield of De Bruyne, Silva, and who was it, like Fernandinho, that, you know, they didn't all work hard off the ball, because they're City, when they don't have the ball, they press, they work hard, and their shape is excellent off the ball as well. So yes, they get caught on the counter attack a lot, which is their Achilles heel. Everyone has an Achilles heel. But at the end of the day, you can't say fairer than that. If we had players in there, like Capo says there, spot on super chat. I agree. Just wanted to get a few more of your teams in, because I did ask you lot, so it's not really fair if I don't really say. MK Agent says 4-3-3 with Donny, Bruno, and Pogba on that midfield. I agree with that. We bossed Everton with that three, played together. What's stopping it? And let me scroll up a little bit more. Drop Bruno and play Donny, says Anthony Martial. I bet you say that, Anthony Martial. And Matry says Martial from LVG era would give both CR7 and Cavani and Greenwood a good fight for the striker position. Unfortunately, that Martial is dead. Mourinho killed him a long time ago. And Yash says mine would be like a diamond with Bruno at the top, Pogba on the left. Bruno at the top, Pogba on the right of it, Donny on the left, and McTominay at the base. The diamond worries me, though, because we tried to do that last season a couple of times, and even the season before. I remember anytime we've tried a diamond under Oli, it's just never really looked right. You know, when we just start, like, really doing mad formations and really trying to complicate the thing, I just feel like that will happen. I feel like that will happen quite a lot if we start doing, like, the FIFA formations, diamonds, and all these kind of things. But I don't know. Den of Don says, Flex, do you think about half spaces in front of our opposition defence being empty most of the time of the 90 minutes? Yes, sometimes. Sometimes I do. That was what was happening against Wolves, because everyone was against Wolves. I know they was playing back five, but there was some periods in the game where we literally had like a row of attackers. I think Bruno always goes and joins the striker, so it was Bruno and Mason, and then you had So Bruno would go and join, Martial. And then you had Sancho and then Greenwood. And it was like a line of all four of them, just out of ideas. Pogba just trying to pick it up on a half turn off the back four, getting it off, say, Fred or whatever, and just looking to just ping it over the top, dink it over the top loads of times. I hate when we do that. Ibrahim says, our midfielders should be all about supplying the attack and popping the occasional goal/assist. Our attack is too good to be starved. 100% agree with that. Varane will allow a high line and negate counter-attacks. That's the interesting thing there. Varane's impact in this. Where does Varane fit into this equation? Because we didn't get the centre midfielder, but does he allow us, like what the super chat was just saying there? Does he allow us to be higher up? Does he allow us to have that I don't want to say arrogance, but have the confidence to say we're okay 10, 15 yards. Let's push forward more. Do you know what I mean? Because I think he can do that. He can bring that. Alien Tenno says, I think the front three will be fluid and baffle them. And Paul Falugo says, Ronnie won't let Bruno stand in his spot, bro. We have to play a somewhat 4-3-3, which for me is a good thing. Someone's game must suffer. It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. Someone's game, right? Someone's game needs to compromise with Ronaldo there. I mean, Bruno's not playing all that good for Portugal at the moment. Is that because of Ronaldo? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it's because of Ronaldo, but he's just not playing well. But I reckon it could. I got a feeling that Bruno or Rashford, one of them two, I think is going to have a less of an impact. I think the team will still do well, but I think to accommodate Ronaldo, someone has to have less numbers, I believe. If Bruno still gets 20 plus goals and 20 plus assists and Ronaldo gets that, I will be amazed and happy at the same time. I will be pleasantly surprised. Parallel says Martial is our 16th all-time goal scorer ahead of Zaha, Berbatov and many other United greats. He's got us through a tough period and he deserves our respect. He's got us through some tough periods as well, 100%. Other times he's kind of not been there when we've needed him to be on point. And that's why, again, back to the Martial thing, I respect what you're saying there. He's got my respect, which is why I'm saying he's ready to fight. I think he's ready to fight, and if he's not ready to fight, I think he needs to be, because he ain't going to play that much. Arjun Singh says his team is David De Gea, Dallo instead of Wan-Bissaka, first person to say that today. Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Matic, Donny, Pogba. Matic is getting a lot of votes. Martial, Ronaldo, Sancho. So hold on, Martial. Oh, and Pogba as the number 10. So you drop Bruno. First person to say they'll drop Bruno. Extreme says Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Donny, Matic. I think Matic is like unanimous as everyone wants him to play as a defensive midfielder, you know, which is fine. Interesting. Greenwood, Bruno, Pogba, Ronaldo. So no Sancho for Extreme. And Alien says tickets for the Newcastle game are going for £2,500. This is true. This is true. Another person messaged me, a good friend of mine, the other week, saying they were trying to get some tickets for their brother, and he screenshotted something and said it was like £2,200, and I was just like, what is going on? And there are people out there who will pay that, and worse still, I think there's people out there who would actually charge people. It's insane. Starlord says I'm never dropping Bruno, and Danny Palmer says Flex, keep the content coming, bro. 100. Finished Tough Mudder yesterday and can't wait for Ronaldo to put our rivals in the mud, says Danny Palmer. Oh, big up Danny Palmer, you know. I wish I had the little KG sound effect thing. I'll be giving you a round of applause. You know how hard Tough Mudder is? Not that I've done it, because I've looked at it and thought I could not do that. But the deputy head teacher I used to work with in the school, when I was working in school, he was training for a Tough Mudder, and he showed us like the footage and we followed his journey. It is one of the most intense things you can put your body through. I know that through seeing his journey. So big up to yourself. Congratulations to you, Danny. The fact that you're here, you're physically able to kind of get involved in the show after doing Tough Mudder. You've recovered. You're there. So big up yourself, Danny. That is sick. 70k incoming flex, says Brandon Janica as well. Yeah. Oh, wait, what are we on? What are we on? That's crazy. Yeah. We're on 69.5k. Road to 70k, man. Well, it's the road to 100k, but yeah, actually smash a like on the video. We've got nearly 1,000 people watching and only a couple hundred likes. Guys, you forgot to kind of walk in the house, take your shoes off first before you ask for a food and drink. You know what I mean? Come on, I know you're excited. But let's get them likes up. Mods, let's get a big smash on them likes, get a big push on them likes as well, considering how much people are watching. And TNM says, Flex, to have 100k at the beginning of January. You reckon? Beginning of January, 100k. Where are we now? Beginning of September. All of September, October, November, all of December. That's 4 months. 4 months, 30k. Can we do that, guys? Let's have a big push. That would be sick. The day this channel reaches 100k, I think I might cry, honestly. It'd be such a big achievement for everyone involved. And I want to carry on a little bit about Solskjaer's selection headache, though, because he does actually have a selection headache. It's a positive one, but there's also a negative one. I think the negative one is the selection headache in terms of what does he do in midfield, because I'm convinced he's not sold on Donny. And we saw that Fred and Matic wasn't great against Southampton. We saw that Fred and Pogba wasn't great against Wolves. And I'm not saying it's going to continue like that. Each game has its own shelf life, isn't it? You can play well in one game, then not play so well in another. But what a common theme with our central midfielders is the deficiency that we can see that it has. That's not luck. Even if we go on a couple of games where we was actually on top and, you know, the midfield looked quite good, and we're leaving it saying, oh, Fred was really good today, or McTominay really done well today, or both McTominay and Fred were really good today. Even if we see that in one game or 2 games in a row, or even 3 games in a row, or even for the month, it doesn't mean, or it usually means it's not going to continue for the whole 9 months of the season. We've been there and done that. We've worn that t-shirt already. Rizzani says a back three is our best chance of winning something. Lindelof stepping into midfield will free Pogba to roam with Bruno. Imagine we played like that. Imagine we played like a Chelsea with the team we currently had. I don't think tactically we're good enough to do that. But say Tuchel was our manager and we played that formation, we would be quite potent. I mean, it always looks quite negative, though, to kind of say, right, I'm going to take an attacker out and then put Lindelof in. I don't want to see us go that way. But if we were under, say, a Conte or under a Thomas Tuchel, clearly that would be the way we would be going. It's not the traditional Man United way, but my God, how long have we been? How long away are we from that? The traditional Man United way. We haven't been that since Fergie's left. We haven't just done a 4-4-2 old school Man United, Giggs on one side, Beckham on the other. Do you know what I mean? Scholes and Keane in the middle, or Scholes and Butt, or whoever. Do you know, we haven't done that in absolute years. You know, York and Cole up front since forever. So really, the Man United way, I'd say, is winning. Yes, we got like a DNA of how we want our players to play in terms of wingers getting on, crosses coming into the box, 2 very, very good strikers with 2 other ones on the bench, 2 centre midfielders who can both kick ball, you know, a Carrick in there. we got that, great fullbacks, two solid centre halves, which now we've seemed to have got a solid keeper. We've got those fabrics of the DNA of the club, since Busby and the youngsters with Sir Matt, of what he kind of put through with the Busby Babes. We've got those DNAs, and we kind of we do follow them, bringing in the likes of Rashford. Look, he's in our starting team, bringing through the likes of Greenwood. There's always youngsters coming through. That's fine. But in terms of where we're at now, if someone would say play a 3-5-2, if it worked, I'd have it. If it worked and it was attacking and we were dominating teams, I don't think. Look, it seems negative from where we're at because of the attacking talent we've got, though. That's what I would say. That's why I wouldn't want to see us revert back to that. And also, I don't think Ollie has that in him to play that and make that work. Do you get that? Like, I can't really see that happening. But if we were going to play a 3-5-2, my God, what would that be? So that would be what? Maguire. Who would play right centre back? I'd say Lindelof. Lindelof plays right centre back. So Maguire left centre back, Varane in the middle, Lindelof right centre back, Bissaka and Shaw wing backs, two in the middle. Who would that be? That would be what? You can't put Pogba and Bruno in there for balance. That'd be awful. But let's just say you wanted to do a FIFA team, you put Pogba and Bruno as the two, which would never work, and then play the three of, say, Ronaldo up front, Sancho on the left, and say Greenwood on the right. It looks. Listen, if you want to do that on FIFA 22, be my guest, because that'll be a hard team to play against. But in real life, I don't know. Lindelof can actually play right back too, says Yash Gami. Yeah, he did. He played there against Everton last year, I remember. Would you play Jesse ahead of Donny? I hate to say it, but I would. And I think Ollie would too, says Debunk. I wouldn't, but the second part of what you said there, of would Ollie or Ollie would, I agree. Ollie would is well, clearly we're seeing that. Donny van der Beek has 0 minutes this year. 0. I say this year. I know it's only 3 games, but he's got 0 minutes. Jesse's got what? About 7. He's got more than Donny. I know it's not much, but in the dying straits of the Southampton game, when we were looking to try and get a win in the last few minutes, who does he turn to? It wasn't Donny van der Beek. Do you know what I mean? Said in his press conference that he's actually fucking hell. He said in his press conference that if Jesse didn't get COVID, he would have definitely started the first game of the season, because he had a fantastic pre-season. If that don't tell you how much he is in Ollie's plans, then nothing will. Flex, what's your thoughts on Eric Bailly for CDM, says Tees Patterson. Never in a million years for me, politely. I would not. Is that even a thing? Are people discussing like having Eric Bailly as potentially central defensive midfielder? Are you, Tees Peterson? Let me know. What's your thoughts? Not for me. I would never in a million years play Eric Bailly at central defensive midfield. Adnim says, Flex, we love you, mate. Big up, love you too. And Brian says, Ronaldo will need a break sometimes. He is old. On that, yeah, a lot of people have said like Ronaldo's going to need, like what he's saying there, he's going to need a break. He's old. He can't play every game. Guys, have you seen the shape? Like, this is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's going to want to play every game. It's going to be a fight to get him out of the team. Like, if Ollie wants to rest him. Do you know what I mean? He's one of the only few players who can dictate when they do and don't play. Ibrahim, another super chat, says, this team is primed for Zidane, CR7, Varane, Donny, Pogba. Have you considered that the board has an agreement with Zizou and got players he wanted? No, I don't think they have. I think the reason why we've got these players is because, they believe in Ollie. They believe in Ollie. They're backing the project. They're backing what Ollie's trying to do. I don't think Ollie's not in jeopardy of losing his job. Ollie's got the full backing of the board, hence these signings. To answer your question, Ibrahim, I don't think it's because they've got Zidane in the background and was like, we'll get you Pogba, we'll get you Donny, you wanted him when you was at Real Madrid. We'll bring your old mate Varane. I know that's it. I can see it's an interesting way of looking at it, because actually it suits the conspiracy with the players, because they're all Zidane players. You know what I mean? We know how much he adored Pogba. We know how much Pogba wanted to play at Real Madrid at the time Zidane was there. We know that Donny was going to go to Real Madrid before the pandemic when Zidane was there, I believe. And obviously Varane played under him. So, that is the link. That is the link. So I understand that conspiracy theory and it fits. I just don't think that's true. TJ Sherman, big up TJ, says, I don't want Martial to leave, because I strongly believe with his current competition in the attack, it will make him work harder than before. Tony Martial will score again. And that's my thing on it. I think it will. It's sink or swim for a minute. Muaz says, Flex, love from Edmonton in Canada. I thought he was going to say Edmonton, North London. Edmonton in Canada, it's almost 6 a.m. and I haven't slept yet. And man is up watching the United View. Big up yourself, Muaz. 6 a.m., you know. That's mad. Balance Consultant says, how close do you think United are to the same side that won in 99 and 08? And that's the minimum trophy you will be... and what's the minimum trophy you'll be happy with this season? How close are we to the side that won in 99 and 08? I mean, those sides, look, the treble and Champions League, it's very difficult because this team's won nothing. So you don't even really want to put them in the same breath as that team, as those two teams you mentioned. But in terms of the quality of players we got, you have to say we should be with the players we got, Balance Consultants. We should be only a defensive midfielder away from that type of success with the players we've got. Ronaldo, look at our front line. Ronaldo, Martial. It gives me goosebumps even reading this out because I always do this. But anyway, I'm going to do it again. Greenwood, Martial, Ronaldo, Rashford, Sancho, Cavani, Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, Cavani, Ronaldo, Sancho. Yeah, Dan James left. So that's six top draw attackers. Then add Bruno into that because he's not really a midfielder. 7 top quality attackers. Then you add Paul Pogba into that. Then you look at our back four. Varane and Maguire. Wan-Bissaka, yes, limitations, but solid. And Luke Shaw, we know what that is. And you still got David Gea, one of the best keepers in the world. So to answer your question, Balance Consultants, that's why I'm saying we should really be on paper a midfielder away from being how those squads were, just in a different era. Obviously, those teams had Sir Alex Ferguson, and now we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's obviously a big difference. So I think what I'm trying to say is that, you know, on paper, yes, we're not far off, but obviously tactically and coaching-wise, we're very far off. Biggie Third says, the big issue is Ollie doesn't know how to rotate. That could be an issue. And Ibrahim comes through again and says, Woodward and the Glazers want to win and don't have confidence in Ollie's style. Woodward wants to walk away with a trophy. Watch this space. Ibrahim could be onto something. He's coming with the Zizou thing. And Parallel Continuum says, give me my credit. I started the buy to CDM trend, as I told KG on his show. Oh, right. It was you. It's you trying to get Eric Bailly, trying to get the petition to get Eric Bailly into our centre midfield. My gosh, Parallel. Bailly was a CDM for Espanyol. He sometimes plays the centre or a 3 at internationals. Listen, man, fair enough. I'm not going to profess to have watched Eric Bailly at Espanyol. I'm not even going to profess to have watched him game in, game out when he was at Villarreal. But I've watched him at Man United, and he can't play centre midfield in my team. No chance. No, no chance. I can't. Honestly, yeah, not for me. Not for me. United have the best attack. The problem is no shape in defense. Pogba, Bruno, all attacking players. Add Ronaldo, Greenwood, Sancho. No wonder players attack us easy in midfield. Says Cookie Dragon, and that's gonna be another situation for Ollie to sort out. That's another selection headache because he has to get the balance around his team. It isn't FIFA. This is not FIFA. You can't just play all these guys and not even worry about what midfield is. Because if it was that, like I said, I'd just drop Bruno. I'd just play like a 4-4-2. I'd go all out if this was FIFA. You'd just play, you know, Pogba and Bruno as a midfield 2. You'd put Rashford on the left. You'd put Greenwood on the right or Sancho on the right, and you play Cavani and Ronaldo up front. But guess what? That's never going to happen, and the balance of that team would be horrendous. So we'll have to see. A lot of people are talking about Matic. Bounty Lad says, Flex, Matic bossed the midfield the last game when we beat Newcastle 3-1, so he definitely can plan as a CDM for this game or play in a CDM for this game. Yeah, Matic can play in games, 100%. He probably will get a game. Look, Donny's not going to start against Newcastle, that's for sure. And Ollie's going to have to make a decision. Does he put Paul Pogba back to the left and go with Matic and Fred? Or does he play Matic and Pogba in midfield? Sancho's knock, we don't know. Owen spoke a little bit about that. Obviously, Sancho returning from England camp early with a slight knock, but he's expected to be fit for the Newcastle game. But, you know, he had a start against Wolves, start against Wolves in the last game. It wasn't his best game, but he's going to take time. Does Ollie give him a start at home, to get his confidence going, the fans there? I think he probably should. Or does he go with Martial, who's been away on international break, got himself a goal? It's probably a couple more games for them to play, or one more game for them to play, should I say. in France. He comes back fitter and sharper. You go with Tony again and get him try and going again. Ronaldo's going to make his debut. He's got to start the game. I don't see any way Ronaldo doesn't start. He's here. He's training already. So, yeah, there you go. I have Dan James in my team. He is 55, and actually, he has better productivity than I'm not going to say that, Martial, but so basically saying he's better than him. Ronaldo masterclass incoming, and flex mate, love from Edmonton in Canada. It's almost 6 cent. I've read that one already. And Villarreal final, we needed Varane. I don't know what we needed in that. We needed Oli to make changes early is what we needed. And Bailly is funny though. Bailly is funny though, but he's definitely not a centre mid. Definitely not a centre mid. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for watching today. Smash a like on the video. We'll be back tomorrow with some a Premier League roundup show, the overview coming to you guys tomorrow. Look out for that. A lot of content coming at you this week as well, and I've got a great preview coming up for the Newcastle game later on during the week as well. We'll have the press conference reaction as well as the preview. And a lot going on this week. Flexing KG show on Tuesday as well. So I hope you guys enjoy the lineup this week. I'm out of here. Enjoy your Sunday. International break. Who's watching England today? You gonna be watching England or watching your team? We shall see. Anyway, peace.